Within our world are creatures we cannot hope to comprehend. Science refuses to recognize them as fact, but Hollywood sees this as an easy cash grab. Now, join these three men as they venture into these attempts at success. You will witness the good, the bad, and the strange as you are now venturing into Cryptic Collectors.
Welcome to Cryptic Collectors, the only show that can't tell the difference between the black-eyed kids and the black-eyed peas. I am your host, William, not the reason the kids have black eyes, Kearney.
My name is... Oh, by all means, good sir.
No, you, good sir, I insist.
I one of you are possessed.
Upon my honor as a gentleman, good sir.
Fine. I am the sunshine Ace Marrok.
And I do happen to be Sir SippyVA. Esquire.
Esquire.
I officially worked with cartoon characters, and that makes me happy.
Well, we all are kind of cartoons in our own way.
I mean, yes, we are, yeah. Speaking of which, Crooked, would you like a little bit of the tobacco?
Oh, sure. I'll explain what we'll be talking about. It's something I truly find terrifying because it mixes two things I'm terrified of or dislike. I'm terrified of ghosts, and I dislike children. And you mix them together, you get the black-eyed kids.
No, but here's the thing. I mean, are the black-eyed kids ghosts per se?
I still don't want them near me.
I mean, the kind of vibe that I get from them is like Children of the Damned and Children of the Corn.
Yeah, look,
there's
I don't care.
Something that's possessing them to do all these horrible things.
Look, I don't care if they're ghosts, possessed, aliens, or just come from an abusive household. I don't want them near me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's like taking all the Kennys from the Gamera movie and making them killers. That instantly makes them more horrifying in my book.
Oh, that's what Kenny's means.
Yeah, that's where that came from.
I had no idea where that came from at all.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Will. And knowing is half the battle. Black-eyed kids. Anyways, with the black-eyed children, it's part of a long list of supernatural children that have appeared.
It's also kind of a newer technically newer. It's not as old as some of the other ones we talked about.
No,
I think the earliest account was like in the 1998.
Yep.
Actually, it predates a lot earlier than that. There were some reports in the 80s, but it became more notable around 1996.
I see. Oh, because they also had them in England too.
No, that was just kids that came from abusive households.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like because the
sorry.
Right, because the 1996 sighting was around Albion, Texas, and of course there was a second one in Portland, Oregon. Which means Titan Goji, aka Davish, is not safe from the black-eyed kids.
Of course he's safe. He's in Texas. Everyone has a gun.
But then again, how many times do they deal with black-eyed children coming at their doors?
Yeah, look. It's a well-known fact there's only two ways to really tell if you're dealing with a black-eyed child. One, if they have the black eyes, that's like the big one.
Yeah.
The second one is if you turn on music that's very popular on TikTok and they don't dance, they're probably not black-eyed. They're probably black-eyed kids. And if they do dance, you still get a gun out. You don't want that the next generation.
So Davis, like when he's opening up the door, he sees the children. He's gonna be like, "I'm gonna pull out my gun."
Yeah. Play Billie Eilish. See if they dance.
Excuse me, guys. I'm gonna go get my Spotfiy.
Get the Shark Baby song. The black-eyed kids, in terms of sightings, I mean, other than the two big ones in 1996, there haven't been too many sightings of it. The most, from what I can tell, was one from a British tabloid in 2014 about the black-eyed children, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah, I think I've seen that tabloid actually.
Yeah.
I was watching a video about how the black-eyed kids gained a following through different forms of media, like Sunshine and the Black-Eyed Kids, and of course the Black-Eyed Kids comic. And it was going in depth about how there were tabloids and certain sightings of black-eyed kids within London.
And I believe they started a band at one point.
No, you're talking about the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, you are talking about the Black Eyed Peas. And
Me and YouTube keep confusing them because every time I type in the word black-eyed, the piece comes up first.
We're talking about Beck, not Bep.
although now I have this wonderful image of my head of the Black Eyed Kids when they knock on your door. They're just singing one of the Black Eyed Peak songs. Actually, no, maybe that's how you know how to distinguish them. You play one of the Black Eyed Peas songs, and then they start dancing.
First,
What if
that
it's in a
implies that they're
creepy
still
way?
popular.
What if they just like start dancing in unison, just pretending to be hip? It's like if you force the Grady sisters to dance.
Or if you force us to do a podcast.
Or that scene in Red Spectacles where, and a couple of my friends know this reference, the guy just randomly starts dancing while he's chasing down his victim.
But anyways,
getting on to our two discussions for the day.
I would say we're technically gonna talk about two things because kind of a funny story why we decided to do both of them.
Originally, we were going to do just solely the Sunshine Girl and the Hunt for the Black Eyed Kids.
No, we were gonna do the comic.
Well, that's the thing. We were going to do the video first, but I suggested originally we try to do the comic because we've talked about 2 films already, like 3 films in a row at this point, so we needed something a little bit different. So I found out there was a Black Eyed Kids comic, so I figured we could try that first. The results were not a good idea, because...
all the Black Eyed Kids look like Michael Myers from Halloween.
Yeah.
They do. You know what? I actually read through all the 15 available volumes.
There was
And
15 of those? Dear
Yeah, there were 15 volumes.
I thought there was only 5.
Issues. No, there were 15 issues. We tried to get through 5, and we couldn't.
now here's the thing. My one biggest gripe about this was that, yes, it was so unappealing. And not only that, it was so dark, so I couldn't tell what the hell was happening half the time. And not only that, the kids look so much older in the art style.
Yeah.
Black-eyed young adults.
I couldn't tell them from actual adults. I was thinking like the black-eyed teens, black-eyed preteens.
The Black Eyed
Just
Miners.
remembering it just really, yeah. Oh my god.
And the worst part is it like I said with the Michael Myers thing, it looks like they're all wearing masks because their mouths never open and they don't have a glare in the eyes.
Might as well be Michael Myers then.
Don't insult Michael Myers. But
Neither the killer of teens or the celebrity.
Yeah, and what's even weirder too is that they had with that comic had some pretty good talent. I mean, first you have artist Szymon Kudrowski, who is notable for a lot of modern comics. Like specifically, he's really known for working on Spawn. And his artwork I've seen from his penciling and inking, it's really good.
Though
And
I gotta say, when it comes to the comic, the artwork is not that great. It's only good when when it's dark.
Yeah, it doesn't really look good here. And I'm not sure if maybe that's just the general direction or maybe it like from an editorial standpoint, I don't know, but I would imagine there would be a lot better artwork here since
Also, we found a couple of typos. Remember that?
Yep. And yeah, I was about to mention that too. You also have Eisner Award winner Joe Prunette, who worked on X-Men Unlimited and Cable.
Yeah, also, when you were reading this, did it feel like it was meant to be a pilot for a TV show?
It really felt like it was more like a pilot for a TV show, and even then, it would have been a really good TV show, given what you and I had to read.
It really did, honestly. It really did.
Yeah, because
I don't think it wouldn't apply.
Yeah,
it would have blown.
Yeah,
I definitely noticed this when they did some establishing shots, where you know how in a comic book they just say the name and location in the corner for an establishing shot.
Yeah.
Here they show the name of the place on a sign like an establishing shot for a TV show.
Yeah, which is fine if you want to be a little bit more subtler about it, but the problem is that there are some times when those like panels where they're supposed to show what area we're in, they're kind of hidden, so you wouldn't even know if you wouldn't notice the first time you were reading it.
Yeah. Also, it relied a lot on pointless shock value, like them just randomly killing animals.
Zippy, I know you were more welcome on this, but I just was not a fan of the changes that they made to the Black Eyed Kids lore. It felt like because they try to make it feel too much hive mind-esque. They try to make it feel more like the Xenomorphs from Alien.
I know we only made a few issues in. I did not understand why the leader of the Black Eyed Kids wanted this one writer woman to basically write the history of humans before they wiped them out.
Now here, I didn't get that either. I just felt like maybe it was like some way how to strike back at humanity through its like emotional level, I guess.
Yeah.
It was
Right,
it
how-
was that in itself a bit of emotional torture because these kids, they're just like, as the characters say, just plain damn evil.
Yeah, I kind of wished we saw him reading what she wrote. You wrote a lot about the pizza bagel. I'm pretty sure humans accomplished much more than this.
And not only that, what I really liked is that they kept the ambiguity of what they really were, instead of just saying flat out, "Oh, we're actually aliens" or something like that.
Yeah, I will give them that
Yeah.
that the comic did not try to fully spell out that what they were. But given what little we knew of them, it just didn't feel like the Black Eyed Kids.
Also, they repeated a lot of. I forgot to bring this up when we were talking about the art. They repeated a lot of the same panels, but zoomed in. And you
Yeah.
can tell they zoomed in.
Yeah, you can tell they stretched out a panel just for the sake of getting the same shots, and
Yeah,
it
they
looks
did.
really lazy.
And it's sad because this could have been a really good thriller story.
It really could have been. Like, there was so much potential with
Actually,
doing
even better, a fantasy mystery.
Yeah, I think having it being a supernatural horror mystery would have been the perfect spot to have the Black Eyed Kids be adapted into comics, which it feels like that's what they want to do with it, but I just feel like either one, they felt like they didn't have enough research on them, so they just decided to try to do their own thing, or maybe they just didn't care too much about the source material. Like, you want it to feel like that this is like the Black Eyed Kids, just maybe a bit more expanded upon.
Yeah, I mean, for God's sakes, I read a book and why gender bent Sun Wukong, but I still keep true to the character.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Or King Arthur turned into a woman.
Yeah, that's really the only big
And
difference.
some say that's better. Actually, no, the better one is when they made Mordred into a woman. And everyone else into a woman, especially historical figures, when we have pictures of what they actually looked like.
So what we're basically saying is, go on Amazon right now and buy God's Wrath, Tournament of the Divine.
No, what we're saying is play Fate Grand Order.
And your money for waifus.
The biggest...
The gotcha gods demand it.
CrookedLore's biggest inspiration.
Waifu, I say anime titties, yes. Like a huge inspiration. Like twice as huge.
So here, CrookedLore, I have a proposition for a new book that you might want to cash in on. So here's about this one hero. He goes on an adventure. He has the biggest bazongas.
I'm listening.
I can imagine, like, when you're going to a panel at a convention, just this one young fan just be like, "So what was your inspiration when it comes to God's Wrath?" I think you're just gonna be like, "Titties." Yeah, but the comic, The Black Eyed Kids, we like, at least in me and Crooked's case, we couldn't finish that. It was too boring and just too lifeless to really enjoy. I think there's more potential to do more cryptid comics, and
Yeah, actually, you want to tell you how bad it was? I'd rather read I'm Not Starfire.
ooh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I said it.
That says something right there. Yeah, but but in the end, don't read the comic. Just focus. Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, if anything.
No.
I mean, the whole reason why I read through the whole thing was so that I could at least have some actual thoughts on it and share it with you guys.
I agree.
So
Now-
I don't recommend it as a form of literature or something to actually look into the Black Eyed Kids themselves. But if you are still curious, be my guest, because it's not going to do much for you. In fact, it's quite forgettable.
I'd say you're better off just watching any documentary or literally any video on YouTube discussing that. Which, speaking of which, that would come into our second project, which would be Sunshine Girl and the Hunt for the Black Eyed Kids, which, Will, you recommended for us.
Yeah, I only recommend this because this was the only real decent film for the Black Eyed Kids. Also, is just a fascinating way how this movie was actually made with the YouTube channel and how they kind of tried to make it feel real.
When I was when you first initially,
we should say though, we are gonna riff on this movie a bit, but it's nothing against the creators or any of that. They did a fantastic job on their part, but we're still gonna criticize some stuff.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, like in my case, when you first told me about this, I just did not want to do it because I just do not like a lot of YouTube videos based on the subject, especially God knows how many Slender Man.
Yeah, so when you said you weren't gonna do it, I swear to God, you would think it was gonna be like Smosh or Channel Awesome's movies.
That's exact. I thought it was going to be something a lot more low tier than that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. The camera quality was actually pretty good.
Yeah, camera quality was not bad. And one of the things that I will give the movie credit for is that I like that it's tied to an actual YouTube web series called
Also,
The Haunting of the Sunshine Girl.
Yeah. Also, you can tell how old this movie actually is because not once did this YouTuber mention Raid, Shadow Legends, or NordVPN.
Oh God.
Oh God. Yeah, of course you were going to bring that up.
Yeah, can you imagine if this was made nowadays, every 5 seconds, even the most serious moments, you're gonna see in the bottom corner, sponsored by Raid Shadow.
Okay, I gotta stop you right here because I gotta mention something. This motherfucker, when we were reading the Black Eyed Kids comic, he would not shut the fuck up about it. I had to hear that the entire time when we were reading it. Every single time he did, I wanted to fucking kill him.
And now I just hope to God one day our first sponsor is going to be Raid Shadow Legends.
If it is, I will strangle you when we meet up in real life. I swear to God, I will literally strangle you, being like, "This is for the goddamn
and I was
Shadow Legends."
Shadow Legends.
Why you little? It's literally, I'm literally going to turn into Homer, and Crooked's going to turn into Bart Simpson.
Look at the graphics. It looks like a PC game.
Shut the fuck up, shut the.
Download my code now to unlock new exclusive characters.
I'm beating the shit out of him. Shut up. But yeah, but going
and then I apologized and said this apology is sponsored by NordVPN.
You fuck you. I had to hear that the entire night we read through those comics.
I don't even know why what brought it up, but something did, and I just kept on going.
He kept going, and now I have Vietnam flashbacks to hearing those words.
But you know, if this movie was made in the recent layout of YouTube, they would have done it. She would have done it. Sunshine Girl would have done this.
Oh, absolutely.
I would have laughed. Yeah, during the moments when it being chased by a black eyed kid, she'll be screaming, "Oh God, this is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends." Oh my God. Ace, you want to explain the premise of the movie?
Okay, so before I do, I want to quickly discuss about the web series that the movie is spawned from. So, The Haunting of the Sunshine Girl is about a 17-year-old girl named Sunshine, played by Paige McKenzie. Basically, the series is kind of like Ghost Stories or any one of those type of shows where, you know, a group of people like come together and try to go through anything paranormal and such. I mean, it's obviously it's a YouTube series, so it's not necessarily of high quality, but I do like the fact that there is a legit series that it could be tied to.
While also being sponsored by Blue Apron.
Shut the fuck up, you motherfucker. Anyways, I think this movie handles utilizing that far better than another thing that I couldn't help but compare it to, but the film Deadstream, if you two are familiar with that.
Nope.
Yeah. I actually thought you were going to compare it to with the Marble Hornets thing.
No, I think Deadstream would be a better one to compare it to, because basically the idea of Deadstream is about a fictional YouTuber that goes around to haunts, and he goes for this extreme haunt and gets a lot more than what he bargained for. It's a similar premise, except here there is a legit YouTube series to go along with the film.
Yeah, although I would say I've seen a lot of stuff that's been done kind of like this for recent years, but not to a point they'd make a movie. I guess consider analog horror.
I think analog horror would be a better example to compare this to.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I give anyone that goes this all out on the project, I give them as much credit as possible, because I don't think, by all the stories I read, I don't think I ever go this far out for some of my stories, like just building up to it while trying to make it feel as real as possible.
Additionally, what really makes it work is also just how, and I think in the same sense as the McPherson tapes and somewhat the Blair Witch Project, I like it that that for all the performances, they all feel a lot more natural. Like these are real kids. Like, and also I really like how our main character Sunshine and how she edits her YouTube videos and edits them in the way where they feel like something you'd see from YouTubers from the 2012s.
Though I will admit that does get kind of annoying as it gets to a more serious tone.
It does, I will agree there, but I think it also adds to the authenticity of this being sort of a set period piece from the more earlier years of YouTube.
Yeah, because honestly, at this point, she would have gone on Twitch and become a streamer and would have been sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Shut the fuck up about that. One thing, though, I will say is that when it comes to our main character, Sunshine, I mean,
She's a teenage girl on YouTube.
She's a teenage girl on YouTube and makes a lot of really stupid choices. And
like not being sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
I will kick your fucking ass, you motherfucker, if you keep going with that.
Crooked. It's okay. Just wait.
Don't you dare start this too, Sippy.
Let it go.
Don't.
No. I'm just trying to fan the fire, okay? I'm just trying to... Wait, that's how the saying goes, right?
No, that is not how the saying goes.
The saying goes, this is sponsored by Blue Apron.
Try to fucking...
Christ. You know, I should just let this happen.
Kill you.
Just let this happen.
Anyways, but...
I try to be helpful.
You try to be helpful, but it's impossible when he's continuing with it. Moving on. But with Sunshine, she makes a lot of really poor decisions in the film. And I get it. She's a passionate, passionate, what would you really call her? Like a, like, I wouldn't say like fan necessarily.
Seeker?
Knowledge seeker, I think that'd be a better word to use, on the subject of the Black Eyed Kids. And it makes her making a lot of questionable decisions. And to be perfectly honest, I would have much preferred it if her mother was more involved in this story than just her deciding to basically run away to do this story and have her be right in the end. Because when I saw that, I thought, okay, I know exactly where this is going to go.
Yeah, I thought it was funny how the mother kind of just wanted to cancel the whole thing because she made her run.
Yeah, and I will admit, the mother, also played by Mercedes Rose, she does a great job with her performance, and I think the mother is genuinely a likable character. Ironic, too, because here's a little interesting trivia I was able to discover, but Mercedes Rose, who plays the mother, is also the voice of Rosalina in the Mario Galaxy series.
Seriously?
Seriously. Yeah, no kidding. I knew that voice sounded familiar, and then I looked it up, and I was like, oh shit, that's Rosalina. Huh.
That's why she wasn't there to help her kid. She was too busy helping Mario.
Well, ironically too, that this came after Mario, even the series. So I'm kind of curious what her involvement was. That unless I think if anything, it might have been a family type of situation. You know,
because these are all they're actually related. They actually are mother and daughter.
Sorry,
really?
Sunshine, but your mother is in another galaxy.
Wait, are you serious?
I thought that's what I thought. I thought they had the exact same last name at the end.
I refer, characters, not the act.
No, in the end credits.
Oh.
Unless was it
I had to
prior?
look it up.
To
I
that?
really didn't pay attention at the end credits.
Yeah, because I'm now kind of curious about that.
Because I was curious because I know a lot of them saying they were playing themselves.
Yeah. Well, I think that was. Oh no, actually, no. It is her mother.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay, so I take that back.
Adds to the realism of it. That definitely adds to the realism.
Yeah, it adds to the realism, and plus, I guess when you have a really experienced actress like Mercedes Rose, I mean, I must have definitely helped out with Paige's performance. Because despite how I feel about her as a character, again, I still think Paige does a great job with her. I think she does a great job with her character and trying to flesh it out as much as she can with it. Also, I will say that the side characters, except for one, which we'll get into, are also decently interesting. I like the, I think the guy's name was Waters, like the guy that they interview eventually, who sent them info about the Black Eyed Kids.
Yeah, who literally just invites them down just to tell them he's not going to tell them anything.
He's kind of like a typical conspiracy theorist where, like, if you don't 100% believe him, he'll not want anything to do with you. But I do love the story that he tells about how his best friend in the military, seeing the Black Eyed Kids, completely broke him mentally until one day he just disappeared, and that negatively affected him as well. I think that was one of the best scenes. Like, honestly, the first half of the movie, I think, has a lot of strong points. And that scene in particular.
I really like the interviews in it. The interview
Yeah.
scenes.
The only thing I hate about the interviews is the music. And that in general, I hate that about found footage or analog horror films, is that they always incorporate music into their interviews. No interview, unless you're a documentary, would really add music in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I said about the edits that come later. I understand they want to try to make it feel like it was done by a YouTuber, but at the same time, it kind of feels like that it takes away from the realism of it.
It really does. And also, I think the ending, too, is how it affects the rest of the channel, I think is kind of a missed opportunity, because one thing I would have preferred is if this was like the final project that Sunshine worked on, and every other YouTube video doesn't have her involved in any sense. There's plenty of videos that come after this film, and I think that's kind of a missed opportunity to really hit home the authenticity of the film by just having the characters that we know in this movie never appear again on the channel, and maybe she becomes like a producer or something.
Another thing I actually really liked about this is this movie was done through a Kickstarter. And she even acknowledges that. He even played it up that this movie was actually funded through the Kickstarter. That's why she was able to get a film crew and all that. Yeah, like I said, despite the issues, this is still a very impressive movie and a lot of build up to it.
Yeah, it's very ambitious. I will definitely give it that. And
another thing I'm saying, I really like what they were doing with the black-eyed kids. They didn't dive too deep into it, but it gave you some interesting ideas still.
I think it's the right amount of keeping them still a mystery, which they should. But also, it adds the right bit of layers to them to still make them interesting, and as well as threatening at the same time.
Like the idea of this is a bit of a spoiler, by the way, the idea of the mother.
Yes. The quote-unquote mother, if you will.
We don't question anymore.
Yeah, that was something. I mean, like, I was a little confused when they said mother, but then I was just looking at him like, what he does to the homeless lady. I'm like, what the hell?
Now here's the thing, though. When the opening found footage that they shown, the child kept on referring to the mother with male pronouns.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of
interesting because I was curious where that was going to go. Because again, this is before a lot of stuff happening now.
Yeah, and it's important. Yeah, and also, like, you gotta an actor like Ted Rooney involved as the mother, who was in Legally Blonde, Gone, Big Fat Liar, and also was on Seinfeld. So they have some pretty experienced actors there at their disposal.
I won't lie, it kind of takes away the realism when you learn that this guy's been in other movies.
Because, I mean, at least with Ted Rooney, he looks very believable in the role that he's given.
Right.
Because he's not.
He does do a really good job, though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give him credit.
Yeah, because any actor could have easily just chucked it up and just kind of winked at the camera. No, he took it seriously and gave a pretty good cold performance, I must say.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna say this. I felt bad for the character of Andy, the guy that the kid they got off.
That's someone I wanted to mention because I really hated Andy the whole time.
No, I felt bad for him just because he was only invited because they need the slowest run because they need a slower runner in case.
I just hated how really awkwardly creepy he was towards Sunshine the whole time. Like, and I get it, he's kind of meant to be the fanboy and such, but the scene where he's asking if Sunshine's seeing anybody. That was really uncomfortable to watch.
Though I will say when he introduced the Andy cam, I kept on thinking of taglines for his spin-off. Justice is blind, but he's nuts.
I think the thing that made it even funnier is that Sunshine added like the name Andy Cam, but it's so small and in the corner. It's like she didn't really want to do it.
Your sins can't hide from the Andy Cam.
No one can escape the Andy Cam. Like it's like the Jaws POV, and you just hear the John Williams music.
No, what if the Andy Cam was the Deadeye Cam?
Oh, oh no!
Just imagine it, just like the shaky cam running through the woods.
Andy,
no!
Why are you running? I'm panicking.
I'm
scared, man.
I'm scared, man. No, try to imagine that. Try to imagine this. It's chasing Sunshine, asking for a date so badly. Like,
I
why
won't lie,
won't
that'd be
you
just-
go out with me?
I won't lie, that's just terrifying. Yeah, but the best part, in my opinion, was when the cameramen were like, "Okay, this is just getting a little too crazy for us. Maybe we should just leave."
Yeah, they legit. I love that the crew had legit abandoned them. I thought it was
Sorry, kids, you're on your own.
that was actually a little bit of funny self-awareness when it comes to the Kickstarter that they got real crew and the crew decided to fucking leave.
Look, we weren't actually expecting to find anything, but we're not gonna stay to find anymore.
I thought that was a great
That
little
was the most
scene.
realistic thing I've ever seen in a found footage film.
And also, I gotta say too, I love how the black-eyed kids are presented in the movie. I mean, we talked a little bit about how they're depicted, but the visual themselves and how they appear, it's right on point with what we expect. The cold, dead stare, the the black eyes, shining, like the way they present themselves in this almost robotic, inhuman way. It's right on point with how I expect them to be seen in in the actual urban legend.
And another thing I will say, I really liked the opening found footage film that was supposedly sent to her to get her interested into the Black Eyed Kids. I thought it was a very great setup, very creepy.
That in itself, I felt like could have been its own short film right then and there. There's a lot of positives to this movie. It's just, again, but I think we can all agree that the biggest problem with this movie is definitely, again, the pacing. Because the first half of the movie is great, but ironically, when we get to the second half, which is ironic where all the Black Eyed Kids stuff happens, it really, really drags. And as someone who was watching this today, there were a lot of times when we were at those scenes is when I was skipping up the movie just to get to the end, because I just couldn't get invested in a lot of those scenes. And ironic, because that's the scenes that we're supposed to be here for.
I do like the fact she made it feel like this was done by a YouTuber, but at the same time, I don't like the fact she made it feel like this was done by a YouTuber.
I like the very amateurish documentary style to it. But once we get to the parts that are, mainly scares, I mean, there are some definitely good scares. I'll actually give the movie credit. It does exactly what a lot of YouTube videos do when they try to do horror, and that is drag the fuck on.
Yep.
Yeah, that is true.
Also, in the end credits where her mother, her friend, and then went back to the house, very much showing the mother what happened. How come she wasn't rubbing in the mother's face the fact that this actually happened? Because she clearly shown her mother the video of the Black Eyed Kids and all that.
I think probably before they drove up there, she probably saw the condition they were in and knew that they did indeed face something that they really shouldn't have.
I would have been very shallow about it. This is what happened. Yeah, this is where the non-existent Black Eyed Kids attacked me, Mom. And right over there, the non-existent leader. Yeah, that's where I saw it. That's why I saw her killing the non-existent homeless person. And there was another scene that actually kind of took me out of this. When the police came to the house where they found the one guy they were interviewing, they found him dead. That did not look like for a documentary. That looked like a shot from a police show.
Yeah, that was really weird. That was weirdly shot. I don't get why that was added there. How would Sunshine set up a camera for over there? That's what I want to know.
I was like, hey, look, I know I'm panicking, but can I film you guys?
Well, I just went through this very traumatic scene. I mean, yeah, I just went through a very traumatic moment. So can I film this?
Now get a good shot of you putting a blanket around me. Very nice.
That was such a weird ass moment in the movie.
I was thinking, did I just get to another video on me? What happened here?
Yeah, I know. It looked like something right. It looks like something right out of those police shows that you see on MTV or something.
Yeah, what they should have done there is still have them record, but have the camera crew holding their cameras lower so they aren't holding over the shoulders as they talk to the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least skip ahead or show a black screen saying that the cops came and they had to talk to them.
Yeah, or maybe you could have even
actually make it seem like a found footage film. The thing with the police, I thought that was really stupid too. Like, who did she pay to get to the police to film them? Or somebody to film the police doing their job. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not right, let alone illegal.
So let me get this straight. You walked in, man, why are you filming my badge? It'd be just a great establishing shot. Just let me get it.
Yeah. If anything, here's what I would have preferred it if the camera was on the car, and you're seeing the cops talk to not only them but the crew as well.
Or even show it from a dash cam point of view.
Yeah, that would have been worth, or the handy cam if you really want to go that far.
Like I
I
said,
just felt like
justice
the
is blind.
focus
He
or
is
like
not.
the visual perspective should have been just solely on them, and then everything that happens outside of that would just be like told over like say text or something like this is
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
Like there was about hours of questioning, and then we were back on the road.
I really want to give this movie credit for trying as much as it does, but in the end, it is still a YouTube film. Not the
But
worst. Mhm.
I say, but is it Ace? Again, if it's a YouTube film, how come it's not sponsored by Rage Shadow?
I
Legends?
will
God,
fucking
not again.
gouge out your eyes, you little shit. Anyways.
Aren't
Oh,
you
may
sick
I-
of getting tired of those
oh.
kind of threats on the internet? You know what will help you with that? NordVPN.
Okay, Ace, would it make you feel better if I filmed you gagging him?
Yes, please do.
By all
When we
means.
meet,
This choke
when we
footage
meet
is
up in
sponsored
real
by
life,
Blue Apron.
I will give you one of my cameras, and you're gonna watch me strangle the fuck out of him.
And the corner will say sponsored by Blue Apron.
Moving on. With the Sunshine Girl and the hunt for the Black Eyed Kids, I've seen worse YouTube videos out there, but this one I feel like it's just going to go under the radar as one of the other menagerie of YouTube horror films.
And I will say, I'd rather watch this again than read the comic.
I'll agree with that. Like, it's definitely a lot more watchable and entertaining than the comic is, but that's not saying too much.
Because the comic wasn't sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Just let it go.
Ace-
Let it go.
Anyways, but I will say this. With both of these adaptations, it did make me really realize that the Black Eyed Children, or the Black Eyed Kids, depending on which way you want to pronounce it, those have not really been adapted well in any media at this point. Honestly, I'd say if you want a definitive version of the Black Eyed Kids, ironically enough, go watch what predated it, which is The Village of the Damned. Because either the original or the John Carpenter remake both do the job in giving children a very supernatural and very eerie feel to them.
Plus, you get Mark Hamill in the John Carpenter version.
Yes, you
Or
do.
just watch Children of the Corn, and I'm talking about the original, not the ones that came after it.
Or any of the sequels.
Or just listen to more of us in our previous podcast.
Yes, always.
This live podcast was sponsored by League of Legends.
I get Dad. You. Okay, hang on. I'm coming in. Come through the screen right now. I'm coming through the screen. Come through the screen. Come here.
This has been Cryptic Collectors, sponsored by...
God, if we ever get to the day where we're ever getting sponsored by something, you guys will have to do that, because I'm never going to do that.
It's gonna
for
be
my...
Raid Shadow Legends. It's always Raid Shadow Legends. Name one YouTube video that isn't sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
I
Name
know.
one.
But must you
CDOG
remind
VA
me?
and sponsored by Buxu.
Must you remind me every fucking time in this fucking episode?
This attempted murder was sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
This attempted murder. Anyways, so Crooked, would you like to share with us what our next episode is going to be?
It's actually gonna be our first anime episode. It is gonna be that one, right? I kind of lost track of what we're doing.
No, you're right. It is.
We're reviewing the Twilight Bound Hunaku-kun.
Ah.
I was debating if we saved for our inaccurate depictions, but other than the gender swap, it's pretty accurate.
I mean,
Not horror as much, but still everything else still kind of matches these actual stories.
aside from Hanako-kun, there are different Japanese adaptations of Hanako-san. Well, thank you for joining us.
Oh wait, we didn't rate the stuff.
Oh yeah, so with the comic, I will give it 1 Raid Shadow Legend out of 5. Fuck it, I might as well go along with this. And
That's a lot of Raid Shadow Legends.
Shut the fuck up. And I will give Sunshine and the Hunt for the Black Eyed Kids 2 Andy Cams out of 5.
All right. I think I'll rate the comic Imitation Corn out of 10.
Imitation
that's
Corn
basically-
out of 10.
That's basically it. It's
It
just
really
Children of the
is.
Corn under a different name, trying to look like the Walking Dead.
It really did. It really did. That bothered me so much.
It really did.
And how would you rate the movie?
The movie, I would say, 10 wheelchair-bound mothers out of
Mothers with he and his pronouns.
yes,
Be
one
respectful.
wheelchair-bound mother out of 10.
And I will rate the movie 5 Blue Aprons out of 10. Say, and for the Black Eyed Kids, what was that scam thing that everyone was doing ads for, where you could buy land in Ireland or something?
I don't know what that's referring to.
I said that was a whole controversy when it comes to sponsorships, and one was you could actually buy land in Ireland, become a lord or a lady, but it was revealed to
real?
not be true. Yeah, that was real. That was a whole thing.
I
remember a lot of
actually
people
now
sponsoring.
that you say that, I know what you're talking about, but I just don't know I don't know the name at all.
Yeah, I'll just say I'll say the whole comic book is basically just a scam business.
Gotcha.
Well, at least it's become a scam business in recent years.
Oh no! It's just become a dying business in recent years. I have been William, sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends Kearney.
And I have been Ace sponsored by LordVPN Marrok.
And I am Sippy. I really wish this was just Children of the Corn VA.
And this has been Cryptic Collectors, sponsored by Blue Apron.